Whew. Yeah, I'm out of breath, guys, and I haven't even started the video yet. Just two things real quick. One, I have the fan on the background. I have to have it on. It's too hot. I'm shooting this in my room. And number two, um, this is going to be a DVD VHS Blu-ray update. And there's some Criterion movies I want to show towards the end that I have in my collection that I recently purchased. Actually, I got these online fairly cheap, much cheaper than what they're going for, and it wasn't even the Criterion sale. I just found them online for really like kind of $10, $15 range stuff. Usually they're half off sales. And the other thing I want to say real quick is thank you for the continued support. I got about 24 subscribers. I don't get a lot of comments, which is fine, but I do get, like I said, I get enough views to justify to keep this going. So thank you for your time in watching this. I mean, I really appreciate it. So this is VHS, DVD, Blu-ray updates. And let's get into it. I hope you guys enjoy these. I really like doing these cheap VHS, and most of these are. I think the most expensive VHS I'm going to show you is $5. So if you like the cheap VHS like I do, then you'll love this. Waterworld, come on, fucking awesome movie. Kevin Costner's in this. This is one of the best science fiction schlocky movies in the '90s. I mean, let me pull this back just a little bit. Here we go. I love this movie. I mean, it's so ridiculous. That's right, the world is just water, and there's a map where you can find this island. That's right, land. And so Dennis Hopper, the baddie in this, the villain, is going to try to get that land, but there's a chase to get to it first with Kevin Costner as Aquaman, basically, and there's Namor in this. He can breathe underwater and this nonsensical stuff. I really, really like this movie. This has kind of got a wasted performance by Jeannie Triplehorn. I think that's her name, who I like quite a bit. She is that her name? Yeah, Jeannie Triplehorn. She's pretty great in this, and Kevin Costner is over the top ridiculous in this. It's a fun film. I think this just got some Arrow, or somebody released this, and this got or somebody put this on 4K, but I got the VHS. 90s goodness. I love me some Waterworld. I love it. Warlock 3, End of Time. This was a good value for $1. Now these VHS, some of these are priced higher than what they should be, and some of these are priced lower than what they should be. If this was in a bigger area like Austin, Warlock 3 would not be Austin, Texas, or maybe Miami. I don't know what the scene down in Miami is. I'm thinking it's probably pretty fervent in VHS. Certain places that have VHS hounds will pay a lot more than $1 for Warlock 3. This one I barely remember. It's on Trimark, and this guy Bruce Payne is the baddie, and he's been in a lot of movies. And Ashley Lawrence from Hellraiser's in this one. So yes, Trimark goodness. I love Trimark and Vidmark back in the day. Those were a lot of fun. We got Ransom here with Oliver Reed, Stuart Whitman, and Deborah Raffin. I don't know. She is. I'm trying to figure out who even directed this, and I don't even know who directed it. But this is a cockamamie little story, basically. And this one, a rich, like this small town is being terrorized by a ruthless killer. And this is what he's doing. This sounds great. He's raining terror and spreading fear against the more wealthy citizens in town. So he's basically holding the town a ransom, or wants a ransom, or is holding the town hostage so they pay him. So I'm trying to figure out how he spreads fear and why the cops haven't found him in this, or any of this kind of stuff. But that's the premise of this movie. I got you, whole town, to myself. Yeah. It's fucking ridiculous. But that's the kind of movies you get. This is 1984 on Vestron. Vestron goodness. little marked on the side, but for $1 I'll take it. Yeah, ransom. This looks like some tastiness there. All right. Due to the popularity of the Baz Luhrmann movie, I decided to called This Is Elvis. I decided to pick up some Elvis movies. Elvis: The Lost Performances. This one came out in 1992. It's about an hour long. The first 50 minutes contain performances shot in Las Vegas, 1970, in August 1977, and then some in Hampton Beach in 1972. So he sings medleys, he sings his whatever, he sings the whole kit and caboodle. So Elvis: The Lost Performances. Look, it's got the booklet in it too. That's pretty cool. The King. I'm gonna move this camera back a little bit. I keep saying I'm not gonna do that, and I'm just doing it. I feel like I don't have any room to breathe. There we go. There we go. Perfectly placed. And yeah, This Is Elvis, the Baz Luhrmann movie, is fucking great. I loved it. I loved it. It's my favorite thing I saw in the theater this year. I told my brother when we were leaving, I'm like, I could have watched that for 3 more fucking hours. I could have watched that forever. I don't know. It was really, really interesting the way they made it. I liked the way they remixed the songs in there. I thought it was cool as hell on MGA. So The King, baby. I've been buying some Elvis movies too. I think I've shown a few in the collection. And then the definitive Elvis documentary, This Is Elvis. So this came out in 1981. I remember when this came out, and was considered the most definitive documentary on the history of Elvis Presley. So is it? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it is or not, but I'm going to take a chance on it. One of the things I was trying to do in this video is not show me fucking around with the jiggling the camera, and I've done it twice, but I'm not doing it a third time. So yes, This Is Elvis. So I love VHS. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I love this shit. I could watch, I love this shit. All right, Blackbird Jungle on VHS. Until I get this on DVD or Blu-ray, I'm gonna just have the VHS of this to myself. One of my favorite movies from the 50s. When did this come out? I think this was released 1958, and this was the movie I was trying to say I think had the first rock and roll score to it, a rock and roll song in the movie. But I don't know if that's completely true, because I thought there was one with Little Richard in it, so I don't remember. This one's got Rock Around the Clock in it. A highly influential movie that, because of the use of score in movies that Scorsese did, or of songs in movies, that Scorsese later took and kind of made it his own thing by adding songs and music. From his early movies up to like, oh God, what was the movie before Texas? Mean Streets, and I forget what that first movie he made was. He used music in it, so this is really cool. This is about Glenn Ford, a teacher who takes a job in a public school in the middle of the city. He befriends this kid he's trying to make this kid become his leader, but the kid's too street smart, at least at first, and the kid is played by fucking Sidney Poitier, who is amazing in this, and I believe this is Poitier's first starring role, or our first role of significance. Really, to me, this movie's fantastic. There's kind of like this love triangle going on with this other teacher who's kind of hot for him, but his wife is pregnant and stuff like that. And this movie's just brutal in a way, like how these fucking wild these kids are. And Vic Morrow in this, man, who was in westerns and just war films, he is so great in this as one of the lead baddies in the movie. I mean, he is absolutely fantastic in this, And Glenn Ford's name in this is Daddy-A. It's Mr. Daddy-A. I forget what his is, but the kids call him Daddy-O. Like, hey, Daddy-O, Daddy-O, and they keep saying that like over and over again in the movie. To Serve with Love, probably, which came out a good 10 years after this, or right around 10 years, was probably the most noted
teacher in a bad school situation. But I like this movie a little bit more than that. It has got some wicked ass tension in it, especially towards the end. The ending is absolutely fucking fantastic. This is a hidden, I would say a hidden gem for people who don't know black and white movies, which is half the people under 30 nowadays. I know that's true, but I've talked to people at work and they're like, I don't like black and white movies, they're boring. And I'm like, what? The fuck are you talking about? It's like seeing a horror list, and on that horror list you don't see Frankenstein for best horror movies. You see Hereditary, and teach their own. I mean, if that's what they think, I'm like, you know, it's a few midnight movies and a few beach movies. This one is Bikini Beach. This is the one where there's a pop singer, and he gets on the sand and tries to take over Frankie Avalon's turf, and Frankie Avalon, not liking it too much, decides to challenge him on a race, I think, or something like that. 1964 made, and then its bookend right here is Beach Party, and this one I think was one of the first movies that had Frankie Avalon and Annette Funicello in it, and it is exactly that. Summer break means one thing to teen hipsters: party at the beach with their buds. You know, I don't know if there was even a plot to this one or not. Oh, there is. A disgusted local professor, played by Bob Cummings, decides to expose these kids as primal deviants to put an end to their monkey business. But this fun-loving gang pulls out all the stops to teach the good professor a thing or two about jiggling, oogling, and rocking the night away. So yeah, these are fucking fun movies. I saw them and I was just like, yeah, know what, whatever. Island at the Top of the World. I don't know if I've shown this one before or not. It's just kind of a batshit movie on Anchor Bay. I remember Anchor Bay in the 2000s because I live in the past so much, and I do when it comes to fucking movies. Especially labels. Like I'm still stuck on I'm still stuck on Dark Sky and the stuff in the early 2000s. I'm still stuck on Lionsgate and Anchor's Bay, but Anchor's Bay was gnarly back in the day. This one's got kind of a Jules Verne-ish kind of feel to it. And this one is about a professor and an archaeologist who is an archaeologist, finds himself on a mission. He's been persuaded by an wealthy Englishman to take part of research or to search for his son, which doesn't really make any sense. He's a professor of archaeology. The youth disappeared in the Arctic wilderness, leaving two clues: a page from an old Hudson Bay Company journal mentioning a hidden island where the whales go to die, and a curious map of carved whalebone. So they go try to find this kid, and it's on this sort of magical island. Kind of weird. Now, it's not that. You know what this sounds like? It sounds like Jurassic Park 3, where they hire this guy. They hire Sam Neill to help them out because they're wealthy, but they lie about being wealthy in it, and they're looking to have him help find his son because he's got experience with dinosaurs. So pretty interesting that now that I know that this was kind of has somewhat a similar premise. We'll see. This is some 1988 canon goodness here, Gotham, with the great Virginia Madsen in this, and the wonderful Tommy Lee Jones. So this one is very strange, and Tommy Lee Jones, I think, for a while could do no wrong, especially when he had the starring role. It seemed like he was so good about everything he did. Yes, I know he played Two-Face. Yeah, I kind of like him as Two-Face, but yes, I know he played Two-Face. But I felt like, especially back in the day, Executioner Song, Jackson County Jail, he was fucking awesome in the 70s. And going into the 80s, he was still super good. Especially like Black Moon Rising. Definitely worth taking a chance on this. This has got like a film noir bent to it, but it's also supernatural. Basically, Tommy Lee Jones, I think, plays a detective, and he's meant to find his client's wealthy client's ex-wife and tell her to lay off on him or on. It doesn't really explain that, but the premise to this is he's going to find this girl to tell her to lay off on the guy. I don't know. It doesn't really explain on the back here, but is she dead? So there's this premise of, is she dead or is she alive? My guess is she's alive and faked her own death or something like that. I don't know. Let's keep moving. We got a good bit going here. Let's not ruin it now with American Ninja 4. And this is Annihilation. It's just on Canon too. I'd like to just do a whole fucking show on Canon videos. There it is. So, oh Christ. 4 Delta Force commandos are captured by elite ninja force and an African force. 2 top secret operatives are sent to free them. After taking refuge with this woman, American Peace Corps nurse named Sarah, were all captured. Meanwhile, one of the guys, Joe Armstrong, played by Dudikoff, learns of his friend's capture and is persuaded out of retirement to attempt a daring rescue. So it looks like they're trying to save some people and then try to save some people, but no one can really be saved till Dudikoff gets in the picture here. That's how bad ass he really is. So, yikes! I don't fucking know what. Michael Dudikoff. If you're going on a mission and you're going to rescue some people, chances are you're going to fail. But you know who won't fail is Michael Dudikoff. This is a kind of an interesting movie, directed by Peter Greenaway, who directed the book. The Pillow Book, but he also directed The Cook, The Thief, His Wife and His Lover, an indie hit back in the day. This is indie hit back in the day. This is 8.5 Women. So this could go either way. I'm not sure what to think of this, but basically this guy is denying his own sexual or sensuality to his wife, and I think she ends up dying. And he goes to see Fellini's 8.5, and it inspires him to suddenly find his sexuality, which he then makes his mansion or big country house or whatever into a den of sexual exploration. So this could go either way. This could be really good and sleazy, artsy and sexy. It could go 10,000 different ways. Knowing Peter Greenaway, it's probably going to be artsy and sexy. So 8.5 Women. Pretty cool. I like these little indie films. I'll show them. I showed them. Yeah, I know this is probably common, but I'm going to show it anyways. Scarface. It's the dual box. I figure for $1 somebody will buy this. I don't even have this on DVD, and this is one of my favorite movies from the 80s. I would probably have this in my top 10 favorite movies from the 80s for sure. I love this movie so much. It's great. Al Pacino's great in it. You know, it's got that whole moral that, you know, once you rise to the top, you get lazy and you get sketchy and you get stupid and you fall from the top. You climbed your way to the top and you fall from grace. Like that kind of shit. And that's really kind of the moral to this movie is like, once you get to the top, you can't stay on top, especially when you're undisciplined and you make stupid decisions. Like he's not thinking clearly because once he's gotten what he wants, he's gotten lazy. You know, and that cost him his life and his drug empire. I'm really happy about the next few I'm going to show you. I'm really super happy about these. This is Catch the Heat, with everyone's favorite ex-senator David Dukes and Rod Steiger in this. And Tiana Alexandra is her name, and she plays a cop in this. Her name is Checkers, and she's a narcotics cop. She goes undercover on the trail of ruthless drug runners in Buenos Aires. When she gets there, she masquerades as an exotic dancer named Cinderella Pooh. You can't make this shit up. Following a grisly trail of violence and murder, Checkers, the detective, discovers the drug kingpin, played by Rod Steiger, is smuggling heroin out of the country by surgically implanting the contraband inside the bodies of suspecting young women. Boom. Breast implants, anybody? And it comes with a cost. And that's the premise of this gem of a movie called Catch the Heat. They made, I think, a pretty interesting documentary on David Dukes. And that dude got himself in a whole hell of a lot of trouble for being associated with the Ku Klux Klan. Really smart political career move there, as he was, I think, a former senator. But so he's acting now. There was a really good documentary about him made that was, and I almost bought it at one point, but I did not, on the New Media label. So this one's going to be a hidden gem. Catch the Heat. I love these action films from the 80s. You know, a lot of these weren't released on DVD yet. And this one is Salvation. So this is basically a sort of, I think, parody, I guess. Parody on television evangelism. And it's directed by Beth B., a sleazy New York filmmaker, no-wave experimental filmmaker, and written by Beth B. and gay punk icon Tom Robinson, who's his band, Tom Robinson Band, especially those 70s albums, are some great rootsy sort of punk. But I did not know that he was in the movies or writing or anything like that. I just know the first two albums he made, which I really enjoyed. British writer. So Beth B. There's a box set of Beth B. stuff on Blu-ray right now, and it's the films of Beth B. And I've contemplated getting it, and I just haven't yet. So yeah, Salvation. This looks pretty good. Late 80s, kind of black humor, black comedy. 1988, I think this came out. But yeah, Beth B. Pretty cool to find one of her movies. You know. All right. Some big box stuff here before I get to the more expensive ones. Escape to Witch Mountain. So I had no clue what this was about. I thought this was about a witch. It is not. That is a young Denise Richards there, I believe. Is it Denise Richards? Kim Richards, sorry. Young Kim Richards there. Ray Milland is in this. Eddie Albert is in this. Basically, these kids have supernatural powers. And this guy, this evil billionaire, played by Milland, is trying to exploit their powers. They escape his castle, and Eddie Albert tries to help them out, tries to figure out what's going on with them. So, Disney big box, Escape to Witch Mountain. I'm definitely happy about this. I like Disney's VHS stuff, especially big box stuff. I'm going to show you a really cool big box here in a minute. This is awesome, guys. This is Nightfall, CBC Sci-Fi Volume 2. And this is basically 6 shorts that are either science fiction or horror in nature. And the CBC is like the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. So this is going to be probably not on DVD at all, and probably low budget, because Canada back in the day did a lot of shows that were almost like shot on video, or just real low budget. And I wouldn't be shocked if this is the same. There's a really great book out there about the VHS boom in the 80s. Analog Nightmares, I believe is the name of the book. And it's a great book about the VHS boom, mostly horror and stuff like that. But they talk quite a bit in that book about Canada. So this is going to be kind of interesting. So CBC version of Nightfall, Volume 2. This is supposed to be science fiction, but I'll read some of this off to you, and you could I could tell you some of this is not. Like, a mysterious antique enters the lives of a childless couple. Can they live with the baby doll? The 12 brides of Olivera are all dead. What would you do if you were his latest fiancée? So some of this is supernatural. A bus driver's route leads him to pick up a special passenger at the cemetery stop. So, I mean, it sounds more supernatural and horror related than science fiction, but yeah, it's pretty fucking cool. Look at that. That was fucking $80. I'll show you the back of it too. So yeah, this is an absolute steal. Maybe the best find of the day I had up there. Well, maybe. This one, big box on Video Gems. This is Red Sun with Charles Bronson in it. And I want to say it's Toshiro Mifune in this. Yes, and Ursula Andress is in this, and Alan Delon. Pretty tasty lineup in this one. And this is basically a gunslinger teams up with a samurai and a revenge tale set in the 1870s. So look how fucking awesome that is. Who says big box doesn't rule? And here's the thing about this one. This one had been sitting on his shelf forever, and I just was like, nah, I'm not gonna get it. No one's in, you know, like, I don't know. I just didn't feel like getting it. But now the more I think about it, it's like I should be able to sell this because I have a convention coming up in May. I should be able to sell it. This is on the Video Gems label. So I'm really, really excited about this. So Red Sun with Charles Bronson. Yeah, we're cranking, guys. We're almost done with the VHS, and I don't got a ton of DVDs, Blu-rays to show you, so we should be done at a reasonable time today. I didn't buy as much as I normally buy either. Usually I have about 30 VHS, but I only think I got about 20 altogether. This one I picked up in St. Pete. I'm kind of combining these. These aren't all from a Viper Video, but whatever. This one was $4. This is Zorro's Fighting Legion, 1939, a release. We're talking 2 hours and 11 minutes of some serial excellence on the Republican Pictures video. I love serials. I love these old, and I don't remember seeing the Zorro one. I might as well show you it all the way. I hate it when people show the videos and then you can't see it and shit. So, yeah, that's what that looks like. And the other one's the same looking. I don't need to pull that out for you. But, yeah, serial of... and when I say serial, these were like kind of cliffhangers, like, you know, 10, 20 minutes, I don't know, like 50, 20 minutes an episode maybe, on to the next one. And it was always at the end of one, what they called a cliffhanger, which was, what was going to happen in the next episode? Can Zorro save the Princess Kimba? You know, all that kind of shit. Is Zorro going to fall off the cliff? What happened to his horse? Where's Tonto at? You know, that kind of shit. And that's kind of what happens in these serials. They're awesome. And this really is an acquired taste. Because I remember in the 90s, when a lot of these serials and radio shows and stuff like that, like The Shadow and The Rocketeer, which is kind of based on something like that, The Phantom, all these old serials were getting kind of love. I don't think they did a Buck Rogers one. They should have. They did a Flash Gordon one in the 80s, of course. But like older style things, Dick Tracy was getting a lot of love in the 90s. And I remember, like, the filmmakers that were making these kind of movies, action movies and stuff, were really, really influenced, including Steven Spielberg and George Lucas, with these old serials. And the serials are not serial, like a serial killer, but not a serial killer. So serials, that's what they were called. So pretty cool. 2 VHS tapes left, guys. We're almost done. Red Sonja. I've been reading the shit out of these Red Sonja comics lately. And this is the movie. This one has the evil queen is played by Sandal Bergman, who's a pretty good actress. Britt Nielsen, I think this was her first starring role, or one of her first starring roles. And in this, she becomes a shy girl and then becomes this defiant warrior. So there's like a social transformation in this. And Schwarzenegger is in this too. He plays Kalidor. And he comes to tell Red Sonja that her sister was killed, and the sacred talisman she was carrying could destroy the world. So, like, Schwarzenegger in this is like the help. You know, that's kind of interesting when you think about that, because he was like, how long was he the fucking man for, right? And now he's the help. So, and this. Now, the comics, which I've been reading, are awesome, because Red Sonja is all about the fucking mission. And, like, when guys try to get some nookie off her, she's like, well, you'll have to defeat me in combat before I go to bed with you. Or, I'm too busy to think about that right now. I'll think about that after I kill the guy who I must avenge. And it's so funny. So, Red Sonja, or Sonya, or however you want to say it. Now, I've been looking to get this on Blu-ray, and I've been also looking to get Conan the Destroyer on Blu-ray or DVD, either or. And this is now on either 4K, I think it's on 4K, and it's going for about $40, which is a little bit more than I would like to pay for that. That one was $3. Last but not least, $5 brings me the Quartermass Experiment. I love this movie. This is on MGM. This is one where rocket ship crashes into Earth after its first space mission. This scientific team this goes to explore the crash site, and they only find one survivor, and he turns into this mutant monster. And there's, like, to me, with this movie, The Quartermass Experiment, there is really kind of, to me, like a sort of Elephant Man-ish, sort of, to me anyways, I guess how I see it, sort of pathos for the monster in this. I actually feel bad for the fucking monster in this. So this came out 1955, directed by Val Guest. Yeah, this is fucking awesome. Yeah, I picked this one up for $5. Love the Quartermass Experiment. So love it. So that's the end of VHS, and that is, for me, kind of new to show you guys so little VHS. I know you're like thinking, Shane, you just showed 20, but I usually show about 30. He didn't have as many good VHS back there as in the past, so I just gave up on that idea of it. All right. First four I'm going to show you are, these are a mixture of stuff I got from Viper Video. There's a few I picked up in St. Pete, and I'll show you which ones those are. But I figured I'm just going to combine them all, then show them unnecessarily. And it's a little, and it saves me on time. These first four I picked up were $0.25 a piece. And once again, I know, you know, they're common movies, but they're worth picking up for so cheap. Hero. I remember seeing this in the theater. And this one is got Jet Li in it, and Zhang Ziyi. A few people from Crouching Tiger, I think, were in this one. And this one is Jet Li playing a warrior who rises to defy an empire and unite a nation. So he must take on the empire's most ruthless assassins and reach the enemy he is sworn to defeat. Pretty cliched, but I remember thinking this was a pretty cool movie. And it had a beauty to it, from what I can remember. It had a lot of heart to it. So, Hero, Jet Li, yes. Zhang Yimou, I think, directed it. I don't know who the hell that is. I don't even know why I said that, but yeah. And Quentin Tarantino presents. Yeah. So that one was $0.25, and this one too has got me curious. Sinbad. This is Sinbad: Legend of the Seven Seas. DreamWorks, not Disney movie, with the voice talent of Brad Pitt in this. Who else is in this? Catherine Zeta-Jones, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Joseph Fiennes in this. Ralph Fiennes' brother. So pretty tasty. Little. I thought this was Disney. This is DreamWorks. So this is Spielberg territory. In this one, there is basically Sinbad, and he's got a sidekick, a dog named Spike, and they battle, and the daring princess Marina, as they battle the goddess of chaos and her mischievous monsters to save the life of his best friend. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I prefer Disney stuff, but I'll give this one a real fucking shot. Ebert and Roper said 2 thumbs up, so might be good. Maria Full of Grace. So this one's kind of interesting. This girl is stuck in this. This came out in 2004 and premiered at Sundance Festival and won some awards. I remember it coming out, and I remember getting pretty good reviews by the critics, but the critics are basically just intellectual masturbators who really kind of annoy me. I don't really care what critics think, but you know, whatever. I mean, I can respect what some of them have to say because they know more about movies than I do. But I always think to myself, I'd rather have my own opinion on a movie than listen to somebody else's opinion on it. Because in the end, it's my experience with it, not, you know, fucking Ebert's, you know. But this one came out, and this is, I think, a Spanish movie. And this one, the girl is 17. She lives in this cramped house in Colombia, and she's desperate to leave. And she has an opportunity to transport heroin, which she must swallow, to the United States. And that's how she, I think, gets herself into some trouble in it. Very desperate, kind of morbid, or kind of, not morbid, but full of despair. Desperate people, you know. Got film noir elements in it. I mean, desperate people, well, that's a big part of film noir, you know. This is more a drama than anything. But yeah, Maria Full of Grace. It was picking up for a quarter. And the last 25 center is Eastern Promises, the follow-up to the amazing History of Violence, which I loved. I was a huge Cronenberg fan for a long time, and then I lost track of him. I don't know what he makes anymore. Not that I don't think it's good, I just lost track of it. This one was probably the movie that made me lose track, and this movie actually got better acclaim than History of Violence, which I like a lot more than this. But this I remember liking quite a bit, and it's been years since I've seen it. Now Emma Watson's in this, and Viggo Mortensen. I think he plays a Russian. He's a some sort of criminal mastermind. I don't know if he's a cop or whatever, but he ties this family to this criminal family that he's tied to. I don't know if he's a criminal mastermind himself, if he's a criminal, but he gets hooked up with Naomi Watts, and she's a threat to this criminal family. And so basically their sort of relationship starts this chain reaction of events. And that's all it really says about the storyline on this. And to be honest with you, it's good enough for me. As they would say, the Goonies would say, it's good enough. And the Focus Features label. This was a hot shit in the 2000s, so I'm definitely worth. I'm going back and retracting or retracing some of these 2000 dramas, like the Maria Full of Grace, My Week with Marilyn. I think I showed that last time. I want to kind of try to go through these and see if these are movies I would like. I probably won't keep any of them, but whatever. $2 movies. This one's awesome. Chris Kattan and Desperate Housewives star James Denton, and they both are in this, Undead or Alive. And this is really silly. Released by Image Entertainment, and Image used to be fucking a really good label in the 2000s. Once again, I'm living like 20 years ago, but I can't help it because that's the shit. Boutique labels to me are like overpriced, and they're fine for the people who want them, because you do get a lot of cool things. You get slip cover disc and slip covers and all this stuff, and I 4K, and you get all these special features. I think that's totally cool. I got no problem with that. But I usually buy these movies just to watch them, so I don't really care about all of the bells and whistles, and I've said that before on here. So I'm attracted to older labels that are going to be cheaper and more nostalgic for me than going on to you know, whatever the hot label is right now, the Arrow even, and where Arrow's movies are way too expensive if you ask me, although they've went down in price. But this one, Undead or Alive, this one came out in 2007, and this one stars Chris Kattan. That's right, and James Denton, as I said earlier. And they basically do something to a sheriff, kill him, I think, and disappear into the desert. And they meet this woman out on their travels, and she helps them try to break the mysterious zombie curse that was lifted upon them by the sheriff, who I think died. And also, they have to escape the sheriff's bloodthirsty zombie posse. So, yeah, this looks like a shit ton of fun on Dead or Alive. I mean, this is the kind of shit. And who knows if this is even on Blu-ray now. So DVDs, I think, kind of, like, to me, are completely underappreciated. Because if you think about it, they're getting to be like VHS. They're getting to be antiques in a way. And some of these are not released on Blu-ray yet. Or 4K, you know. And I think with 4K, people are making a big deal about 4K. In my opinion, 4K is going to become Blu-ray in about 10 years, if not 10 years. And then hopefully the prices of 4K will drop. My thing with 4K too is I don't have a 4K television, so fuck that. I'm out with that. I think you have to 4K television to watch it, right? I don't know. Incredible Hulk, this one with Edward Norton and Liv Tyler. I really dig this one. This one's a lot of fun. A lot of good action sequences, a lot of good chasing. I like the first Incredible Hulk, or the first Hulk movie. I know a lot of people hate that movie, the one that, what's his name? Crouching Tiger, the director of that. God, what is his name? He did The Ice Storm too. He did Life of Pi. Shit, I can't think of his fucking name. I know all the movies he did, and I can't think of his fucking name. Sense and Sensibility, I think he did that one. But that first Hulk I really liked. I liked it a lot with Eric Bana. And this one I like a lot. This one's a lot of fun. That first one has more of a psychological and emotional weight to it. This one is just, like, to me, popcorn-rific. And you can't beat Tim Roth when he gets a co-starring guest role in a movie. He always seems to fucking swallow that shit up, and he does in this, playing basically a soldier who becomes a super soldier who becomes Abomination, and this. And really, kind of the funnier parts in the movie is Edward Norton knows he has to have his heart rate down to a certain amount, and he knows he can't get angry, and he's got this clock that watch that shows his heart rate, so he's tries to breathe and calm himself down in these kind of circumstances. And there's a scene where him and Liv Tyler are on the run. That's his love interest in that. I think she plays Ross's daughter, General Ross's daughter, but I can't think of her first name in the judgment. Barbara Ross? Oh Christ, I can't remember her name. I should know it. But they basically are on the run and like fucking like start smooching, and he's like, well, I better not get my heart rate up above a certain thing because I might have to Hulk you to death, you know? I mean, could you imagine, like, they're having sex and shit like that and he turns into Hulk? But he just, like, completely split her in half? I don't know. I mean, and it's funny because he says that. He goes, well, we better slow down. We can't get too turned on because you don't want to be Hulk ripped. That would be hilarious just to show that scene, just like, you know, just split in half. That'd be fucking hilarious. Alright, on with the 2 and above. I'm going to show you the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 are all under $10, and then we're going to go from 10 and above. So we're working on it, guys. We're almost there. This is Jack Ketchum's The Girl Next Door. This one was $2. I picked this up in St. Pete. A very graphic movie based on the Jack Ketchum novel. Basically, these 2 girls go to stay with their aunt, and she has kind of this weird sense of discipline, and it gets out of hand, and the neighboring boys help torture this girl. And there's a scene in this movie, there's a lot of scenes in this movie that are really fucking hard to watch, and I'm not going to tell you, you'll just have to watch this movie if you haven't seen it. This is kind of torture porn, American torture porn. One of the interesting things in this movie is one of the guys who's watching the girl getting attacked doesn't do anything about it, but actually has a certain amount of compassion for her while she's being tied up and tortured. It shows him later on as an adult, and he's kind of, I think it's told from the point of view where he's kind of reliving this. And at the end of the movie, in a very, very dark but optimistic way, he seems to have found hope. And, I mean, why didn't he help her? I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, so it's got this dark, it's got like a Martyrs, this dark philosophy kind of thing in it, you know. But Martyrs is pretty dark too. This is a brutal movie. Um, yeah, not for the faint at heart. If you're easily squeamish with torture porn, this ain't gonna be for you. This is kind of a hard movie. I remember watching this movie and it having a profound impact on me in my 20s, and that is Bad Lieutenant. Abel Ferrara's Bad Lieutenant. I've been watching a lot of Abel Ferrara movies lately. I watched Miss 45, King of New York. I was watching a movie he did called Welcome to New York. One of my favorite filmmakers out there, and this is a dark movie about a dirty cop played by Keitel who tries to redeem himself, and somewhat. And this is just super dark. It came out in 1992. I remember just like watching this, and I was like, and I was in my 20s, so you know, there's that thing when you watch movies in your 20s, it's like, you know, as I get older, I'm watching a movie, I'm like, that's pretty fucking good. That's good. I don't have the same emotional reaction to them. But this is an absolute great film from the 90s, Bad Lieutenant. I would maybe, I guess I would be on my own here when I say that. This has the Blu-ray to Bad Lieutenant, and it also has Bad Lieutenant Port of Port of Call, New Orleans, the sequel, or the second Bad Lieutenant movie. So, you're really, really happy to have these on. I have not seen the second Bad Lieutenant. My brother keeps telling me how good it is, but yeah, this is the special edition Blu-ray of fucking Bad Lieutenant. So, pretty cool. Adventures in Superman, the new Adventures in Superman, which I think are the old Adventures in Superman. I think this stuff is from originally produced by Filmation. This animated Superman was among the first Saturday morning cartoons showing the adventures of the superhero. So I love old cartoons from the 60s and so on and so forth, and that's why I hope this is. It looks like that's what it is, and it was $4, and I just said, fuck it, I'm going to take a chance on it. Even if it was like brand new Superman, something tells me this is older. Look at the animation in this. This looks older than the newer. So this might be 60s animation or 70s animation. I don't know. But yeah, look at that. 2-discer. I love me some Superman. Love this. I love old cartoons, so I've shown you in a bunch of these DVD, VHS updates, and you've seen every single one has some value to it in it with that. Svengali, John Barrymore. This is on the Alpha video. This one I picked up in St. Pete at Planet Retro Records. $4. This one, John Barrymore plays this guy who can basically hypnotize people. And he finds this girl he tries to hypnotize, and she can resist it. And then she joins him against her boyfriend and whoever else's thing. So it's kind of weird. You can't get me. I can't, you're not going to play these games on me, but I'll join you. Yeah, John Barrymore. He always had the wildest eyes. Look at those fucking eyes. Yeah, so on Alpha, I don't mind 1931, going back to 1931 for this one. Going back to the cartoons, we got a few cartoons in here. This one is, even though it's on, it's a, fuck. It is Boots. I'm gonna get this anyways. Quick Draw McGraw. This is the 3-set of this. This one is 45 episodes. All regions it's on, which is cool, which means I could play it on my Blu-ray player. This one has Quick Draw as a sheriff, and he, of course, this is set in the old West. I thought Al Kabong was in this, but Baba Louie is in this one. Wasn't Al Kabong in this? He's accompanied by his deputy, which is Baba Louie. There's that one right there. Yeah, I love, this is some Hanna-Barbera goodness. I'll show you one more time, kind of what they look like, a 3-discer. That doesn't look horrible for bootleg. Now, if you're thinking, well, why would you buy a bootleg? Well, this was $5, and I bought bootlegs at horror conventions, mostly Spooky Empire, where they're $25, $30. So this one being $5, I'm not complaining too much about it. One of the strangest movies from the 70s, a cult classic, and now finally in my collection, Brian De Palma's Phantom of the Paradise. Yeah, this one was $7. Once again, I picked this up at Planet Retro. Fucking weird movie, basically, in this. Paul Williams is haunted. He's a record producer, and he's haunted by the Phantom, who he once wronged. And the Phantom is this disfigured fucking weirdo. And this is a strange movie. Even the soundtrack is fucking bizarre in this. And the real fucking bizarre thing in this to me is fucking the fact that it's got Paul Williams in it, who was like Mr. America celebrity on Johnny Carson's show, like on game shows throughout the 70s. Mr. America, not Mr. America, but Mr. America personality, an American personality, and this really fucking weird movie. Yeah, this is a bizarre one and a fantastic fucking movie. I love this movie. It's bizarre. It's like, to me, this is the precursor to Rocky Horror Picture Show in some ways. All right, this one on the Blue Underground label. This is Manaka, and this is a man called Blade. Yeah, it's called Blade for a reason. And this is a 1977 release. So this one's one of those nasty ass fucking Italian spaghetti westerns, and I've been buying these. And this one was like I said, this was $8. And in this one, Maurizio Morel, who was in a lot of Italian cop movies, stars as a bounty hunter with a dark past and a more desperate future. When he disrupts the balance of power in a corrupt mining town, he unleashes a firestorm of brutality, betrayal, and cold-blooded murder. So, yeah, sounds pretty good to me. And directed by the wonderful Sergio Martino, who did Torso and Mount of the Cannibal God and Man from Alligator River, and then a bunch of giallos. So Sergio Martino doing some fucking Italian Western spaghetti stuff in this. So pretty fucking cool. Yeah, this one was a pretty good deal on it for $8. I feel like I said, Blue Underground. Now this was a label too, a boutique label back in the 2000s. Now you think about the 2000s, those labels like Image and fucking Severin and Blue Underground and Dark Sky were all like the boutique labels back then. And even labels like the underappreciated Lionsgate had something to offer. And I'm still stuck in the 2000s when my brother was buying these at a prolific rate, and I was watching them and engulfing them. And back then I wasn't collecting, so this was all new to me. This is all new to me now. So my brother keeps saying, "You're just trying to buy my old collection." I go, "You're fucking right, I am." I am too. I am. I'll probably in like 20 years, I'll be like showing you stuff that's on Scorpion releasing and all these other fucking labels I don't really keep track of right now. Or what's the Arrow label? Oh God, I don't know. All these like, really cool labels that I'm not paying any attention to. All right, we're getting close to the end. This one is awesome. This is Hell's Highway, a true story of highway safety films. So this is a documentary about highway safety films, and it's got 3 driver's ed shorts on it. Signal 30, Highways of Agony, and Options to Live. And there's also excerpts from 15 other shocking classroom films, including Mechanized Death, Wheel of Tragedy, yes, Carrier or Killer, Death on the Highway, The Third Killer, and much, much more. Okay, my brother got this back in the day for, I think it was about $20, $25. And this was a fucking, I'm so old. I should call my video, if you like the 2000s, watch this. Because this was like a fucking, like, hard to find video, or not hard to find, a much desired video back in the day, and I couldn't believe I got this for $10. I got this once again at Planet Retro, and I'm happy to have this. So, yeah, I mean, these highway safety films, I remember watching them in school, and they were pretty fucking graphic and pretty intense. So, I mean, if they're going to scare you, I think that was the whole point. And if you've seen the, even the Scared Straight, that fucking movie that came out in the 70s, brutal as hell too, about trying to scare kids straight so they don't go to jail or juvie. That, the whole scare thing actually works for some people. I'll tell you one thing, what worked for me for like drugs, and I never really gotten into drugs, was because we had a DARE teacher. His name was Mr. Schwartz, and he would come in and he would talk to us about DARE and saying no to drugs and stuff like that. And I was pretty impressionable at the time and not really understanding drugs, but he was telling me the story of this girl who was on angel dust, and she was seeing bugs crawling all over her arms, and she got a hold of a knife, and she said a nurse went into the room later on, and I guess the nurse screamed in horror because parts of her fucking arm were missing, and it was pretty fucking disgusting. And that right there was like, I was like, Shaggy, oh no, Scoops. And I was not going to do fucking drugs. That really literally stopped me from doing drugs. I was like, because the way he had described it, it was so terrifying to me. And he was just such a great storyteller. He was describing the story. He didn't like show us a video. It wasn't from a reading. He was just telling us about this. I don't know if it was true or not, but it scared the fuck out of me. And yeah, so once again, on the Kino label right here. Kino, I buy anything on this label. So Renee Daldare's Hysteria. Now this looks like a nice strange one. This was $10 on the Cult Epics. Another label from the 2000s that I'm stuck on, Cult Epics. This one came out in 2014, was released originally in 1997, and this is directed by Renee Daldare, who I think directed the wonderful Massacre at Central High, which is one of the most surrealistic, strange high school films, adult, adolescent fantasy violence films that you'll ever see. So once I saw that he directed this, and I've been looking for a copy of this Massacre at Central High, once I saw a copy of this, I had to get it. Patrick McGowan is in this, and this one he has connected his inmates into a group mind where they can share each other's psychosis, dreams, sexuality, but there's horrible implications that come with this kind of research work. Psychological, surreal, fucking weird. I'm wondering if this is like pre-Sal. Remember the Sal, that Jennifer Lopez movie, which I certainly kind of liked, somewhat. This was made in 1997, so Hysteria. Some Lynchian weirdness here, maybe. Lynchian! For $12, I just talked to somebody online. They said, is it worth it? For $12, he said, hell yeah, it's great. 2003's Astro Boy. This is the complete series. And this came back on television. And I remember when it came back on, and I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, do I even care about this? Fuck yeah, I care about it. So yeah, so this is a reboot of Astro Boy, 4-disc, over 16 hours, released by the ever-improving Mill Creek. Now, Mill Creek used to be a fucking joke, but Mill Creek has got a lot of my respect, and they've released a lot of cartoons and stuff like that. So I'm really super happy to get this on, and check it out, because I barely even remember the original Astro Boy. I mean, I do remember it, but I don't remember it. So, yeah. Young Robot Boy. Kind of like Pinocchio in a way. Except for Pinocchio's not a robot, but, Alright, getting to the end, guys. I got a few, more to show you. This one too was $11, and this was a steal for $11. Frankenstein. This is the complete Legacy collection on Blu-ray. including Frankenstein, Bride, Son, Ghost, Frankenstein Meets the Wolfman, House, A Frankenstein House, Dracula, and Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein. All on Blu-ray. I mean, I'm not going to go through this in depth, but this is as good as it gets for old fucking horror movies on Blu-ray right here, back there, Bride right there, Frankie right over here, looking out the window, looking very, what's out there? Ah! That's not a very good Frankenstein. Oops, and that's the inside. Kind of a flip disc, which I don't really love these, but I don't hate them. So I think there's one movie on each disc. Yep. Well, one on Frankenstein and Bride, and the rest are doubled up. So I gotta get dinner yet. Y'all. I'm like, I haven't even made dinner yet. I gotta eat dinner pretty soon here. Not that you care about my dinner, but yeah, Frankenstein on Blu-ray. The Black Crystals, Tucson, shot and made in Tucson, Arizona. This is fucking batshit on the AFCA label, which I love AGFA. If I see it on the AGFA, I'm going to get it because it's right up my alley of what I want. This came out, I think this came out in 1991, 70 minutes long, and it is bizarre. This one is, the story follows Will Conway, or Will the character, as he and his yellow Trans Am encounter a gang of satanic cultists led by the evil Daniel. Surviving the ordeal, Will meets up with Daphne, a gothic witch, with a power channeler called the Black Crystal that might hold the key to the underworld. Batshit as fuck, as normal for some of these low-budget movies that came out. AGFA is wonderful. This one was $15. It was well worth that. Even used, I don't mind spending $15 on them, as long as they're clean. And this is clean. Some smudges, but I'll fix it. Night of the Creeps. Good news is your dates are here. I'm not going to tell you the rest because if you've seen this movie, you know what the line is. Fred Decker film that came out in 1986, 1 year before the wonderful Monster Squad came out. I think 87 or 88 Monster Squad came out, so maybe a few years. This is great. What I really like about Night of the Creeps, besides the performance by Tom Atkins in this, is the real sensibility of 50s sci-fi creature feature, kind of mixed, and how Fred Decker was a fan of those, and it was celebrating like the sort of nostalgia that comes with those pictures and merging it into a modern concept, or a modern, kind of concept or modern look. And you know, like just a year before this, or the same year as this, The Wonderful Critters came out, and that has the same sort of like 50s sci-fi, 60s, 50s sci-fi thing mixed with the modern day thing. So this was an absolute. I have this, but I think I have this on bootleg, and now Scream Factory released this not that long ago. I'm not sure when it was. Maybe it was a while ago. 2025. So this just came out. This was a steal. This was $14 too. And this has got the nice disc 2, the director's cut and the theatrical cut in it. So both, which I'll watch both just to see. I'd say my only problem with this movie is the fact that the leads are kind of boring. I don't really like the lead actor and actress in this. His sidekick, the nerdy guy, I like a lot more than him. Also, the Asian janitor is hilarious in this. He only shows up for a little bit in the movie, but he's like Banshee. He just keeps saying like Banshee, and he's like laughing about it. It's really ridiculous. But this is awesome. I mean, you guys know Night of the Creeps. I mean, I feel like I'm telling you all these movies you already know, but whatever. Curse of the Blue Lights. This is a fan-fucking-tastic, nutso movie released by Vinegar Syndrome from 1988. And this one is about a group of students who go out and explore the cemetery at night, wondering about the curse of the blue lights. I think it's a cemetery. And shit gets out of hand. And they expose an ancient relic, and creature feature goodness, fucking Scooby-Doo-ish for fucking. I mean, this kind of could have been an episode of Scooby-Doo. It really could have been. In a way, yeah. Curse of the Blue Lights is absolutely amazing. All right, we're almost done. I'm going to show you guys a few Criterion movies I got. Like, I got these for fucking cheap, and it wasn't even like I said, I found these online, and they were like cheap. This one was $20, and I decided to get it. This is Gummo, the Great Harmony Korine, and this one was just released, I think, not too long ago. This movie's batshit. This was like one of those movies that was like, have you seen Gummo? That's fucked up. And yeah, this is basically Harmony Korine's exploration of the Midwest and all its weird and kind of disgusting glory. And as like the scene where this kid's eating a plate of spaghetti in like a dirt brown bathtub because she's so dirty. He's eating the spaghetti in there. It's like, it's almost like gross. But the soundtrack to this got a lot of death metal and sludge metal on it. And it's like a slice of Americana. With Harmony Korine, you don't really get like a plot, you know, in his movies. So Korine, Harmony Korine, I should say. Korine, yeah, who wrote the script to kids. Did Gummo, did Julian Donkey Boy, which is weird. Did a great movie about Matthew McConaughey called Beach Bums, which I enjoyed. He's one of indie film's best filmmakers. His stuff is bizarre. Equinox, this one is fantastic too. 1970 this came out. This has shot, what's that called? Shot by shot animation in it. What's that called? I can't even say that right. This was made on a budget of $60,000, and this has a cult kind of sensibility to it. It's a creature feature. What is it called when they shoot it shot by shot by shot? Now I can't even think what it's called because it's driving me up the fucking wall. Directed by Jack Woods. This was released and kind of lost and then was found again. And this is wonderful. I love Equinox. This was like one of those movies my friend Dave had told me about Equinox. And he talked like, yeah, Equinox. Like he talked like that. And so I was always kind of curious about this movie. And now it is... Now it is on, this is just the DVD version, not the Blu-ray. Sorry about that. Last thing I want to show you, which is on Blu-ray, is the special edition of the great Carl Theodor Dreyer's Vampire. So this is wonderful. This comes with this huge booklet with it. It comes with some special features, including a documentary about Carl Thomas Dreyer, who is the director of this, who directed Passion of Joan of Arc, and later did a movie that has a lot of fans called Ordette, which I've not seen. This one has a very chilling atmosphere in it. What really got me to buy this movie was years ago. I was at this convention, a horror convention in Spooky Empire, and this really, really attractive. I mean, she was kind of fucking hot. Hispanic lady kept talking about Vampire. She's like, look, it's Vampire, and she's putting her like seductive fingernails all over this, and this just got me thinking about her. And I was like, well, yeah, yummy. And oh wow, I'm running over. And so the movie was on my mind, and then I finally got this. This one was closer to $25 maybe. I got it for. I think I got it for about $25. And the plot to this is like. The student of occult, this guy goes to this, I think he goes to this house or big, large settlement and trying to get answers from the occult, and the child who's at the house is slowly becoming a vampire, I believe. I just remember watching this one time and thinking this was like fucking awesome, Vampire. I mean, like Nosferatu is fantastic, and this is a nice bookend. If you want to talk about like silent film, I think this is a silent film or very limited dialogue, anyways. Maybe limited dialogue. I don't remember. I haven't seen it in a long time. Just a good bookend for Nosferatu, anyways. Yeah, vampire. So that's it. That's all I have for you. An hour, 10 minutes, a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. I'm going to be off here in just a few minutes. I just want to talk real quick. And this will be my last VHS DVD Blu-ray update for quite some time, because I'm not going to show one until probably May when I do the Tampa Screams convention. And once I do that, then I'll definitely show you. I got Tampa Bay, Tampa, and local a record update, which is going to be huge. And I have the English update I'm going to do. I just wanted to shoot the movie one first. But the England one is coming hopefully next week. I'll be uploading this tomorrow and then creating space on the phone maybe next week. And then the following week I'll be doing the Tampa Pickups one. So, wow, it's going to be loaded. I would love to try to shoot the England one this week, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So we'll see. I hope you guys like the VHS stuff and the Blu-rays and DVD updates. I try to show movies that are kind of common but kind of get overlooked or kind of are treated like they don't have value. When in fact, I think most movies, depending, it doesn't matter what label it's on, have value. It's either you like the movie or don't like the movie. But to think anymore, unless there's this good packaging and there's pretty paper and all this stuff, that movie with the better packaging and is more of an occult film is better than a movie like The Incredible Hulk. You know, I mean, most people will be like, well, that movie by Fulci is way better than Incredible Hulk. But that to me is like the eyes of it's the eyes of the person who are watching it. I don't like this film elitism, so I try to stay away from it. Where like people think that movie's way better because it's a drama, or it's got this or that in it. Or I just think I think of movies like this. Yeah, I think some movies are bad, sure, but I don't think if I don't like a movie, it's not like I think this is superior. I just don't like that movie. I think there's way too much of an emphasis placed on like, and people's opinions about movies are worse than people's opinion about music. And I'm just as guilty, but it's true. So, yeah, English update, Tampa local record update coming. The England update is CDs and vinyl. I have those ready to go. I'll try to queue that up on Friday if I can. Thank you so much for watching, as always. Thank you very much for watching my channel, and take care, guys. Bye.